This happened about 4 years ago. It's something I've kept mostly to myself because, well, I'm still not sure what to make of it. It wasn't the first time something strange happened in our house, but it was the first time I was genuinely afraid. It started around 1:30 in the morning. Our 2.5-year-old son had crawled into bed with my husband and me. Something he did now and then. Nothing unusual. He curled up between us and fell right back asleep. I couldn't, though. My brain was too wired. So after lying there for a while, I slipped out of bed and went into my craft room to work on a project I'd been putting off. I was in there for maybe 45 minutes, cutting and gluing and enjoying the quiet, when the baby monitor on the desk flickered. Now, to be clear, this wasn't a motion sensor type of monitor. It was a continuous video feed that we kept pointed at the living room and our son's room. The screen started flashing rapidly like a strobe, just flickering, then black, then flickering again. I stared at it for a few seconds, confused, then picked it up. That's when it emitted this awful, high-pitched screech, like mic feedback or a speaker blowing out. So loud and sharp it made me drop the monitor face down onto the desk. The screen was still glowing around the edges, but the flickering had stopped. I took a deep breath, tried to laugh it off as some weird glitch, and flipped the monitor back over to look at the screen. And there he was, my son, standing in the middle of the living room, completely still, arms by his sides, just staring at the wall. My heart jumped. I thought maybe he'd gotten up again without me hearing. But something felt off. The way he was standing, it wasn't right. Kids don't stand that still. His posture was stiff, like he was bracing or frozen. I grabbed the monitor and opened the door. As I stepped into the kitchen, I glanced back down at the screen, and that's when I saw it. He turned his head. Just the head. Slowly, deliberately, until his eyes locked straight onto the camera lens in the top corner of the room. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't frowning. He didn't look confused or sleepy or even awake. His face was blank, completely blank. A flat, void stare that I can still picture even now. I rushed through the kitchen and around the corner to the living room, expecting what? I don't know, but the room was empty. The light from the hallway spilled across the carpet, and there was no sign of him. No footsteps. No movement. The only door on the far side of the room led straight back into our bedroom. I went in. He was still there. Still curled up exactly the way I'd left him, breathing slow and steady. Sound asleep. My husband glanced up from his e-reader. Everything okay? I asked him if he'd been up. If maybe our son had followed him out without me noticing. Maybe he went to get water or something and hadn't realized our son got up behind him. But he shook his head. Haven't moved. He's been asleep the whole time, snoring even. I didn't know what to say. I just sat on the edge of the bed and stared at my son. I know what I saw. I know the way he moved, how mechanical it was. I know that look in his eyes, even if I can't explain it. It wasn't confusion. It wasn't fear. It was absence. That monitor wasn't malfunctioning. The camera feed wasn't lagged or looping, and I hadn't imagined the way he turned his head to stare straight into that lens like he knew I was watching. We'd had strange things happen before. Fleeting shadows, lights flickering, the occasional glimpse of something not quite right. But those were always quick. Doubt crept in before fear could fully register. This wasn't like that. This time, it stayed. It stared back. Even now, writing this down, I feel it again. That quiet, suffocating chill. The kind that doesn't let you sleep. The kind that makes you check the monitor twice, even when you're sure your child hasn't moved an inch. I don't know what I saw that night, but it wasn't my son.